New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.
Evening, and welcome to the Miracle of Prosperity here on the New Thought Media Network. I'm your host, the Reverend Dr. Jim Webb, and I serve as the Senior Minister of the Tacoma Metaphysical Chapel in Silver Spring, Maryland. I also am the author of a number of books on prosperity, including, of course, The Soul of Prosperity, and a number of other books as well, such as Prosperity from A to Z, Create Your Self-Manifesting Vision Board, 30 Ps for Prosperity, and Forgive Your Way to Prosperity. So on this show, every Sunday night, we look at a different aspect of prosperity, because prosperity is more than just money and stuff. Prosperity begins within, where we cultivate a consciousness of loving well-being. And that inner energy, that inner consciousness of loving well-being that we cultivate within us, then becomes reflected in our outer world. So prosperity could be professional prosperity, where, in the words of Florence Scovel Shinn, we have a wonderful job with wonderful pay, where we provide a wonderful service in a wonderful way. Prosperity could also be relationship prosperity, where we have cultivated such a positive and harmonious inner relationship with ourselves, devoid of inner conflict, inner doubt, or inner shame, and where we have such a loving, positive self-regard that our outer relationships reflect that in the form of unconditional love and unconditional support for us. Prosperity could be logistical prosperity, where our outer lives just work wonderfully because the energy of guilt is no longer operating to cause us outer difficulties. And of course, it could be a prosperity support in a number of different ways, including financial support, where we have more than enough financial resources to spare and to share, or other resources such as time and energy and focus. So we look at all the ways that we can either use our spiritual practices to enhance our prosperity, or we look at what we can remove, heal, or transform that would block our prosperity. So tonight we've got a special show for you. We're looking at a way to heal one of the key blockages to our prosperity. This way that we can heal the blockages that to our prosperity is something that we've carried around all our lives. Within you, there is still an inner child. That inner child has held on to the misinformation it received about its worthiness. That inner child has held on to its inner trauma. And that inner child has held on to all of its scripting, as well as the karmic patternings that it came to this life to heal. Now, we often see that inner child as a barrier to our prosperity, for that inner child has tantrums, says no, and revolts when our higher self simply wants the best for us. The inner child doesn't feel deserving because it has been miseducated. The inner child doesn't feel powerful because it has previously been disempowered. The inner child is not encouraged because it has been discouraged. And the inner child may even carry scripts that we don't know exists because the inner child carried them into this life from prior lives. Now, the good news is the inner child carried a bevy of misinformation into this life for the purpose of healing it all. And so this life is a pivotal one in the eternal journey of our souls, because it is the first time in eons that there has been enough light on the earth to heal our karmic patternings and change the trajectory of our life experience in a radical way. So the inner child is the focal point for a lot of what we came to heal, is actually a wonderful tool for why we came to earth, which is to transform that no longer serves us. So tonight, we're going to look at reparenting your way to prosperity, how we can champion and heal the inner child so that it no longer blocks our prosperity. So we're so glad you're here. Say hello. Let us know that you're here by saying hello in the comments. And I want to introduce our special guest with whom we will discuss these things. His name is familiar to many of you who are our viewers. His name is Edward Miller. He is the author of the book Soul Power. He is a powerful and wise spiritual teacher. And one of the things of many in which he excels is the application of Ho'oponopono. And we have our producer, Reverend Michael Mengus, as well. He thanks you so much for the loving care you shared with him over the last week as a result of this car accident. He feels much better now. Let our audience know how you're doing, Michael.
Thank you. Yes, I'm doing real well. Ed, can you hear me?
I do now.
You can hear me? How about Jim?
Yes.
Can you hear Jim now?
No, I can't hear Jim.
You cannot hear Jim.
I hear you.
Okay.
Okay.
Jim,
it could be me. I can change mics. I'll change mics.
Okay. Well, I'll just go ahead and just give everyone an update. First of all, thank you all, especially all my Reiki practitioners out there for all your Reiki this week. I can feel it, and thank you. I was going to perform a wedding right before Reverend Jim's show, and I over in Youngstown. So fortunate things, I was 5 minutes away from the venue, and it's stuff happens, and I was able to get to the wedding and feeling a lot better. So thank you so very much. Jim, could you speak a little bit here just for a second?
Yes. Can you hear me now?
Okay. But you can hear me though.
I can hear you.
Yes.
Okay.
And I can hear you.
But you cannot hear Jim.
No.
Okay. I'll tell you what, why don't let's take an early break here.
Okay.
Jim, what I'm going to need you to do is to check your microphone settings and also your speaker settings. And we'll try this again here in just a few moments. Does that sound like a plan?
Sounds like a plan.
Okay, real good. Well, hi. This is the Miracle of Prosperity here on your New Thought Media Network, live and in color and in person. And we'll be right back to talk with Reverend Jim and also with Ed this evening. So we will be right back.
Please help us say thank you to all of our organizational sponsors, including the Hefferland Foundation, Affiliated New Thought Network, International New Thought Alliance, Science of Mind Archives and Library Foundation, Center for Spiritual Living Denver, Center for Spiritual Living Midtown, New Thought Philadelphia, Center for Spiritual Living United Life, Sunshine Cathedral, Planned Happiness Institute, Summit Center for Spiritual Living, One Heart Retreats, Universal Joy Center, Unity Kitchener, Unity Spiritual Center Ottawa, Om Center for Spiritual Living, Satya Center, Begin Within Ministries, Center for Spiritual Living North Jersey, Unity of Savannah, and the Center for Spiritual Living Seattle, as well as all of our individual donors. On behalf of New Thought Media Network, thank you, and please like, share, and subscribe. New Thought Media Network, come be you.
What would Louise say? Join us every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Mountain Time. Hosted by Reverend Martine Bernard. Explore the wisdom of Louise Hay. Brought to you by New Thought Media Network. Dive into Louise's teachings. Experience healing and empowerment. Reverend Martine shares insights. Connect with a contemporary audience. Unlock your potential. Transform your life with love. Embrace positivity and healing. Join our vibrant community. Ready to join us? Let's spread love and wisdom together. Please like, share, and subscribe. Only on New Thought Media Network, positively inspiring.
The Heal Your Life Workshop Facilitator and Life Coach Certification Training, approved personally by Louise Hay, is coming to San Diego. Facilitated by expert trainers Christy Dixon and Anna Milkick. This 3.5-month training includes multiple sessions on Zoom and 9 days in beautiful San Diego. It will change your life and enable you to help others transform their lives.
We'd like to welcome you back here to the New Thought Media Network and also the Miracle of Prosperity. Jim, say a few words if you could.
A few words if you could.
You still can't hear him. No? Can you? So you can still hear me then, Ed, correct?
He can't hear you either now.
Uh-oh. Well, we had this. We did not have this. Can you? Okay, now I can't hear either of you.
Can you hear me? I've not said anything. Can you hear me?
Okay.
Okay.
Well, Ed, we're just going to have to, if it's okay, we're just going to go ahead and go on, and we'll have you back here. Okay. Oh, he can't hear me either.
Can't hear anything.
Okay. Let me just I will type it in the chat and let's see here. I can't hear. Okay. right, let me send this to him.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm real sorry, Ed. Yeah, we'll have to deal with that a little bit later on here. So stuff happens.
Yeah, it does.
So
Yes.
we're talking about reparenting the so where does a lot of this stuff come from? I know that from a lot of inner work within me, I mean, a lot of the um, messages that I got from childhood still echo today. Still, like, for example, like not having enough. My parents just working, I mean, extra hard, and then not, uh, still, we did not have enough, in their minds, we did not have enough money. Um, you know, getting the whole idea of, well, money doesn't grow on trees and other things. So talk about that for a moment. Where does some of that where does that come from?
A lot of it is crystallized in childhood. And you said something that was very important, how you amalgamated a number of messages into a core message of lack. From a number of different sources, from seeing your parents work hard, from seeing their frustration, from seeing their fear, and from comments that you picked up in your environment, that all crystallized into a consciousness of lack. So it was from a disparate number of sources, but it just hardened into an idea that became, sadly, for you and for so many of us, one of our core operating principles. Because you see, we're always manifesting. We're
Right.
always manifesting a reflection of our consciousness. And if an energy of lack is crystallized in your consciousness, it's almost as if the light of God that flows to you shines through that crystal of lack like a laser. And like a laser, the energy of lack goes out and finds its reflection. And that's what you experience.
So
Go ahead.
No,
No,
I was
you-
going to say the whole idea that so what you're saying is that we get a lot of messages even subtly
Yes.
as we are growing up. So talk about that. How I mean, my parents, again, I saw it. It was almost like an energy
Yes.
that I experienced with them. So talk more about that.
Yes. I often say it's in the water, meaning that we drink it, we ingest it as part of our life force, and it becomes us. So, yes, you picked up a subtle energy. And not only did you pick it up from your parents and their pain, frustration, and shame about feeling inadequate in supporting you, which transferred feelings of inadequacy to you. And I'm not talking about you, Michael, I'm talking about you generically.
Yes. Okay.
So a lot of that was projected onto you. But
All
I
right.
want to take a step back from that.
All right.
I want to take a step back from that into the choice of your soul to choose the parents that you did. And this is very important because the inner child said, the inner child is the amalgamation of the karmic issues that you came to heal. So prior to your incarnation, what if you as a soul, an eternal soul, with a council of other souls said, I want to come to earth to heal the feelings of lack and inadequacy that have caused me to forget my
Right.
oneness with God. So who would be the best parents and what would be the best situation for me in order to do that? And then you saw this couple in Akron, Ohio,
Yeah.
working like a couple of Georgia slaves and not being able to get ahead, feeling resentful, feeling shame, feeling as if they're at the bottom of the economic ladder and feeling inadequate about that, and feeling shame because they're having children and not able to provide for them the way television showed them that they ought to be able to provide.
Right.
And so you said, I'll do that. And the reason your soul did this is because your soul, which was punch drunk on bliss, knows that this incarnation is just a drop in the bucket in an otherwise ecstatic journey. So your soul said, I'll do that for a few years because I'm eternal. And if I do this for a few years, I can see a reflection of the consciousness I came to heal. I can heal it so that all of me knows and remembers my oneness with Source. And that's
Okay.
go back home to Source.
All right. So now can some of this be generational?
Absolutely. You chose the parents because of their current patterning.
All right.
You chose to come through the parents because that current patterning was a part of their epigenetics.
Okay.
The epigenetics meaning when you have traumatic experiences on the earth plane, those experiences change your DNA. Those experiences change your cellular structure. Those experiences change your vibrational range and your vibrational frequency. So not only did your parents have the consciousness, but they had the energy and the experiences epigenetically that were ideal for your soul's healing. And the reason that it's important for our listeners to understand this is because we've made a cottage industry out of blaming our parents for all our stuff.
Well, I did.
Yeah.
It's all your fault. And then there's three fingers pointing back at me, but go ahead.
Exactly. And so one of the reasons it's helpful to diffuse this is so that we look at what our souls have chosen from the highest perspective possible so that we can heal it from the highest perspective possible. So we chose parents with certain vibrations in order to cause us and allow us to heal what we came to heal.
All right.
I chose parents and I marinated in guilt so I could come and heal guilt.
Now hold it. I come from a Catholic background, so I don't think that there's anybody else that does guilt like
you do guilt better than me, huh?
Like my Catholic mother.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So we're aware now.
Yes.
We're aware of the beliefs. We've taken a look back and we're seeing that we're still affected by what's going on. So talk to us about how do we actually reparent some of the misguided messages, which I believe that they were, that we received during childhood about prosperity and especially about money.
Yes. Well, the first thing that we do as we begin the process of reparenting is we recognize the value of our real estate. This goes back to something we were discussing before, which is how we've spent so much time and energy, and in truth, how we've wasted, squandered so much time and energy blaming our parents. The most important real estate on the planet for you is the real estate right here in your mind.
Right.
For it is what is creating your experience. And when you're wasting that energy, blaming and shaming, you are not investing that energy in manifesting your good. So the first thing we have to do is step back from that whole hypnotic habit of blaming and shaming our parents. And once we have made the decision to do that by looking at it from a different perspective, the perspective that we discussed before, then we've created the space in our minds for love to flow where blame and shame had been. And that love can flow through our conscious, sentient, powerful adult. And it can flow through to that place within us that is still the wounded child. And this is where my friends from MBA school, who found out what I was doing that wasn't exactly in accordance with the Wharton School, this is where they say, so this is where you hold on to baby dolls and cry? And of course, that's their shorthand for literally creating a safe space. And in that space of safety, where you've become adept at calling forth, receiving, and experiencing the unconditional love of God, focusing that energy on the parts of you that have been wounded, miseducated, and taught that they were not enough. And the baby doll that we might hold is literally an energetic symbol of the energy within us. It's just a representation.
I would like to get our guests involved in this discussion this evening as we talk about reparenting yourself for prosperity. And I'm going to ask our guests, do you have a belief that that you're having trouble shaking off from childhood? Put it in the comments this evening, and let's see if we can get the knowledge of Reverend Dr. Jim to go ahead and to assist you in letting that go. So the other thing I was thinking about, Reverend Jim, was the whole concept of, again, it's not just our parents, but again, it's where we grew up,
Yes.
our neighborhood, our school systems, their parents,
Yes.
our peers, and every, and again, a lot of those messages that are still running rampant within us. So again, what do we need to do if we've acknowledged that we've had them in the past, or we still have them? What do we need to do now to finally heal it?
In order to finally heal all the messages that we've absorbed from our environment, we need to change the channel, change the frequency. The frequency of our environment has been divisive. It has been steeped in lack. It has been disempowering to us. So let's call that one channel on the television. What if there were another channel and we could change the channel to that? What if the other channel was the channel of unconditional love, the channel of empowerment, the channel of grace and peace? What if we could tune into that frequency? And what if we could allow that frequency to counteract all of the effects of our previous frequency on that previous channel? So maybe we dial into that channel during meditation, the new channel, the channel of love. Maybe we dial into that channel when we get a spare moment between tasks at work and we feel the grace, the love, the healing, the support, and the presence of a higher energy. What if we tune into that channel and allow the energy and the love and the light of that channel to heal the wounds and the epigenetic energies that have become lodged in our energy centers from the prior channel? The new information, the new energy, and the new love can counteract, heal, and transform what was prior experiences that were unloving, unforgiving, and unproductive. So little by little, we counteract the programming of the old channel by tuning into a new channel. And you can call that new channel God, love, infinite intelligence, source, force. You could call it Jiffy Pop popcorn if you want. Just tune into it.
Well, we do have a question. Are you ready for one?
Yes.
Okay. Good evening, sir, to Henry Harris. He says, okay, how do you shake it off? What about beliefs? For me, it's been more of a journey, not the destination.
Yes.
Reverend Jim Webb, go ahead.
Yes, it is about the journey, for we came here for the journey. The journey is a journey that enables us to discover what we have come to heal. We discover what we have come to heal when we see it outside of us and it's something we don't enjoy. That's the purpose of this experience. And then we can make the choice to change our frequency, and in changing our frequency, allow and attract something to us that we do enjoy instead. So again, it's not to judge where we've been, but to thank where we've been, because it has been a signpost to point us to where our soul wants to go.
Absolutely. If anyone else has a comment this evening or a belief from childhood that you're still having an issue trying to shake here this evening or trying to change, please put it in the comments. I know that Reverend Jim would love to talk to you about it this evening.
Yes.
So, okay. So so we know the counter belief.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So again, if you grew up, money is hard to get.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to throw that out there.
Yes.
So what do you need to do? What specific steps do you need to take to counter that, to put in the truth about you, the truth about your divine nature, the truth about prosperity? What specific things can we do to counter that?
Okay. I'm going to identify 2 specific things that we can do to counter the consciousness of lack that are internal, and then 2 specific things that we can do to counter the consciousness of lack that are external.
Okay.
The first thing that we can do to counter the consciousness of lack internally is tap into God's or the higher power's energy of truth, which would tell us of its unlimited nature and of our unlimited nature. And that is intellectual, but it is also experiential. For when we feel that flow of infinite intelligence, infinite wisdom, infinite love, infinite power, and infinite grace, it touches the part of us that remembers that we too are infinite love, power, and grace. And that's the first thing that we can do internally. Now, the second thing that we can do internally is an energetic flush. And by that, I mean emotional release. Along with those messages of lack, we received messages of shame and unworthiness. Those are painful messages to receive and painful messages to carry around. The resentment of them, the shame of them, the fear of being ridiculed, the fear of being, quote, found out is one. And where I grew up, we had these little orange tickets if you got a free lunch.
Okay.
We also had those we also had those bright orange and yellow and purple and soylent green food stamps. And you give one out and it was shameful because they were neon colored and everybody in the store could see you were in food stamps. So there's a lot of pain in that. So you go to the safe space, the well of light, the well of healing, the place where you have become adept at healing and opening to the healing grace of God. And you allow yourself to feel and flush that pain. And that's emotional release. Call it the crying baby doll, if you will. Call it releasing shame, releasing anger, releasing pain, releasing rage by beating the pillow. Call it going on the treadmill or the elliptical and bringing up this pain and shame in that moment and physically moving as a way to generate and expel the energy that you've been carrying.
Okay.
I wrote a whole chapter in both my prosperity book and in other books about this process of emotional release. But this is the second internal thing that we can do, because what it does is it takes all of that energy and in a sense flushes it out, which creates a void into which the new truth, the new light, the new love, the new healing and comfort of God can flow. So those are the 2 internal things that we can do to heal the consciousness of lack.
I'm wondering if our guests have any more questions for Reverend Jim this evening. Again, do you have a belief this evening that you are just still having a hard time shaking? Is there something energetically within you that still is popping up its head in your life and you have no clue on how to go ahead and to let it go? All right. So,
and you know what else, Reverend Michael?
Go ahead.
Can also look at 2 external things that we can do.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I look out my window when I see this wondrous, vibrant orchard right across the street. It's, I guess, what you call an orchard. What do they call those things where they, like a preservatory? A preserve? Yes, a nature preserve.
Okay,
it's
good.
Right across the street, right? So anytime an idea, money doesn't grow on trees, pops up, I think about how in the winter, the trees are barren, but in the spring, they literally explode in fullness and beauty. And that is the bounty of God. No matter how it looks in one moment, in the spring, you know these trees are going to explode. And then I think, well, money does grow on trees because money is made of paper, and paper comes from wood, and the wood comes from the trees. So money does grow on trees. And that's a way of tricking my mind to look at an external mnemonic that counteracts the false information that I've had. And, basically, just like you couldn't count all the money in the world, you couldn't count all the trees in the world. So I turn every leaf into $1.
Cool.
And that shifts my mind. And then I look at all the times that I have, out of nowhere, money has come. Out of nowhere. And I'm talking about out of nowhere. Where money's just shown up in my account, where money has just shown up in ways that I never expected.
Right.
And those things kind of keep me grounded in a new consciousness instead of the old consciousness.
We have, and forgive me, is it TG? There you go. So what Reverend Jim said about thanking and forgiving the negative experience is key. You can't just shake it off or change the channel. That is spiritual bypass. The negative experience will occur. I don't think, TG, I don't think he's talking about spiritual bypass. I think what he's talking about here is really feeling the energy of it so that we can let it go. Am I correct?
Absolutely. Spiritual bypass would be saying, oh, that happened. No, let's just move on. But what we're saying is different than spiritual bypass. We're saying it happened. It lives within us. Here it is down here. We will excavate it out energetically. We will not deny it. We will look at it. We will look at it from the perspective of our highest selves. From that perspective, we are not vulnerable, wounded, or powerless, but we are powerful, invulnerable, and wise because we carry the infinite wisdom of the universe. But from that perspective, we will look down into ourselves, into that pain, into that shame. We will not deny it or ignore it. We will process it. We will bring it up. We will expose it to the light. We will allow it to express. We will allow it to scream and rage and rant. We will allow our child to cry. We will listen to what our inner child needs, and we will minister to the needs of those parts of us that have been wounded. And only once and only after these parts of us have been adequately addressed will they dissolve. So we're not ignoring them and we're not bypassing them. We're processing them into transformation. And this is not a one and done. This is a process, just like if you go to any therapist. You don't go for 1 week and you're one and done. You go and you process and you work on yourself until that which you have worked on has been dissolved, healed, transformed, and is no longer an anchor standing between you and the prosperity that you desire.
TG also mentioned that says, my negative belief, already established premise, is that I must work hard to make money. Okay, so let me go ahead and chime in. Do you know that there are people on this planet that do not worry about where their next dollar is coming from? I know for some of you that's a that's a real stretch.
Yes,
but there are those who have the belief that, again, that money comes to them easily and effortlessly. And again, that most of those folks came from upper middle class to very wealthy. And what they did was they went ahead, and that was the belief. That's what they saw growing up. So Reverend Jim, so how do we go ahead and we counter that whole idea of that we have to work hard for the money? That's one of the beliefs that my mom and dad had, that I saw them have. Work hard for the money. Go ahead.
Okay. Number one, turn off Donna Summer. She works hard for the money. When that song comes on, I don't even listen to it anymore. You know why?
Okay.
Because just like many things in popular culture, it may reinforce something that I've been trying to shake and that I've been successful in shaking. So let's get serious. That's another song by Jermaine Jackson. But let's get serious and talk about it. Ian Levan Zandt has a thing for money: my own natural energy yield. Mm-hmm. My own natural energy yield. And what that points us to is our beliefs about money and our beliefs about ourselves, our beliefs about our worth, and our beliefs about our divinity and the magic of our divinity, which is not magical thinking, but is powerful spiritual thinking. So in your own natural energy yield, you believe that it is impossible to attract effortlessly, joyfully, and easily. So what if you went to that place where you believed that money equals toil and work? And we're going to go deep here, so bear with me. And what if you realized that that belief was connected to an erroneous Judeo-Christian belief about guilt and sin, and working your way out of a consciousness of guilt and sin? And the only way to work your way out of a consciousness of guilt and sin was through indentured servitude, pain, and suffering. What if that was connected to that unconscious feeling? And what if that unconscious feeling wasn't true? A Course in Miracles says there is no sin. It has no consequence. We just believed we were separate from the source that is infinite.
Yes.
And what if we went in and we processed that belief, the belief in sin and guilt, the belief in the necessity and the nobility of pain and suffering, the belief, what if we processed the deeply ingrained belief that no pain, no gain, and that we had to go through a gauntlet of pain and suffering in order to earn glory in some afterlife? And what if we processed that? Then perhaps our energy would be clear enough that we could allow our light to naturally, easily, and effortlessly yield all of our good, not just money, but all of our good, because the guilt that would block it has been processed and is being processed. Mm-hmm. So that might be one way to address it. There are many, but that's just one approach. Looking at what is your blockage attached to? What are the beliefs beneath the belief? Where did these come from, and are they true? Ooh, that's a rhyme. What is this blockage attached to? What is the belief beneath the belief? Where did it come from? And what can we do to set it free?
How wonderful. And so we're going to take a break. And then when we come back, you are going to tell us all the wonderful things that you are doing to spread light and love and joy on the planet this summer.
Okay.
So we'll be right back here on the Miracle of Prosperity on your New Thought Media Network, and we'll be back with our final comments here in just a few moments.
New Thought Media Network proudly presents
Good morning. I am so fortunate to be.
New Thought Media Network is excited to present.
All right. Reverend Jim, could you tell
Divine
us a few
Science
more
Everywhere.
techniques here?
Fridays at
Let
2
me,
p.m. Mountain Time
I need
and
to do
4
a few
p.m.
technical
Eastern.
things, and then we'll be
Come
we'll be back.
explore
So,
a modern experience
go ahead
of divine
and
science.
suggest some other things that we can do to help
With Reverend
heal
Joy
the inner
Fletcher,
beliefs here.
Reverend Jeff Radcliffe, and Bishop Durrell Watkins. Join us as we open our eyes to divine science everywhere we look.
To vision that which we desire. For example, if you want to heal your inner child, you might go into prayer and meditation and say, if my inner child were healed, and if my inner child were no longer sabotaging my good, what would my life look like? And you would then receive a differing vision of your life. And that differing vision of your life would be like a muse to draw you forward, because you then would have a vision of what your life looks like without the anchor of the inner child and its fears and its resentments and its negative messaging. So that's one of the things that we can do. We can continually vision life through the lens of the healed inner child.
Oh, wonderful. Now we're going to try to take that break here.
Okay.
Here on Positively Inspiring New Thought Media Network, you're in tune with the Miracle of Prosperity.
New Thought Media Network is excited to present Divine Science Everywhere, Fridays at 2 p.m. Mountain Time and 4 p.m. Eastern. Come explore a modern experience of divine science. With Reverend Joy Fletcher, Reverend Jeff Radcliffe, and Bishop Durrell Watkins. Join us as we open our eyes to divine science everywhere we look. Fridays on New Thought Media Network.
New Thought Media Network proudly presents A Science of Mind Saturday Conversations. Learn more about the Science of Mind philosophy, faith, and way of life. Join our team of experts for a weekly deep dive discussion. Come study the science of mind, chapter by chapter, and resources from the Science of Mind archives. Plan to join us every Saturday, 9 a.m. Mountain Time, only on the New Thought Media Network.
Now you can become an internationally certified workshop leader and life coach in Louise Hay's philosophy. This training was personally created and approved by Louise and is authorized by Hay House. It will change your life and enable you to help others transform theirs. You will join a worldwide community of thousands of workshop leaders and life coaches, all dedicated to offering Louise's work to change hearts and minds. Go to healyourlifetraining.com for all the information.
Welcome back to the Miracle of Prosperity here on your New Thought Media Network with Reverend Jim Webb. Reverend Jim, first of all, is that graphic that you sent me right before, for some reason, I'm not able to display it.
Okay.
So you can go ahead and tell everyone about this top secret pop-up class that just came to you from Spirit. So please share with us that class.
Yes. It came to me from Spirit that this is a time where so many people are wondering what in the world is going on. That Spirit says we're going to do another pop-up class called Spirit Speaks on Current Events, where you can get Spirit's perspective on everything that's going on. What is Spirit's perspective on the war with Russia and Ukraine? What is Spirit's perspective on the Strait of Hormuz? What is Spirit's perspective on the situation here in the United States? What is Spirit's perspective on politics? What is Spirit's perspective on humanity and the trajectory of humanity? And what is Spirit's perspective on how we can all live a more peaceful, joyful, and prosperous life? Spirit will give an overview of what's going on from a spiritual perspective so that you can kind of digest and understand everything that you see happening in the headlines, and offer prescriptives on what we can do to stay at peace and to support the peaceful vision and the prosperous vision that we all have for the world. So you ask your questions, you get your answers, you get prayers, you get treatments, and you get a spiritual perspective to help you navigate this world and its craziness with much more clarity. So that's on Tuesday, June 9th, from 7:30 to 9:30. It's on Zoom. And so no matter where you are, you can access it on Zoom, Tuesday, June 9th, from 7:30 to 9:30. Now, in order to register, it's $25. And if you want to use that number, you can use that number on PayPal, Zelle, Cash App, or Venmo. Doesn't matter which. Just put that number in that you see at the bottom of your screen and donate $25 to that number, and I will get the notification and register you before the class sells out. Because so many people have questions about this, I have to limit the number of people in the class so that I can maintain a high quality of service to those who register. So I have to cut it off. So if this is of interest to you, it is better for you to register early rather than later, because later could be too late.
Now, Reverend Jim's going to mention a couple of other classes, but we are serious when we say that these classes sell out quickly. They just do. If you are called, something in you that says, yes, I'd like to get Spirit's perspective on this, now is the time. Today is the day of salvation. Call now, 202-253-6009. Get your $25 into Reverend Jim Webb, all kinds of electronic ways to do that. But now is the time to do it. Please don't wait here. Today, right now, as we are ending this broadcast, please go ahead and you can also send Reverend Jim a note, Reverend Jim Webb at msn.com, or go on the website and reverendjimwebb.com. I also heard that you also have some classes that are starting right now. So what is the first class on Mondays?
Yes, it's part of a summer mastery series. And the first class on Monday is called Beyond Channeling, Spiritual Transformation. And you know what this is about? It's about walking the earth as your highest self, containing all the bliss, all the joy, all the certainty, all the peace that you have when you commune with your highest self, how to integrate that into your regular life. So you're not just channeling the light and the healing and the grace of God when you sit down for 20 minutes of meditation, but that energy is continually flowing to you and through you, and you are operating out of that energy. So that's what we will work on. And we will work on it through a series of experiences, discussions, support, and Spirit is going to guide us through this. It's channeled. So Spirit will guide us through a number of different exercises and experiences and discussions where you ask questions on how to be and integrate your highest self. So you are no longer seeing the world through your ego and its fears and its biases and its limits, but you are instead walking strong and proud as the light of God as you were created. So that's Mondays. That's Mondays for 8 Mondays starting on June 15th. Then I've got something else going on Thursdays, which is a companion to it. And that's called Spirit Speaks on healing the inner child. You know, Spirit is an amazing therapist, and that Spirit works through me and will first of all send this powerful, amazing laser energy to the parts of you that are wounded, and offer you guidance both collectively and individually on what you can do to heal your inner child and do exercises to heal, calm, and transform your inner child. And this is not just objectively looking at it. This is viscerally allowing the energy that Spirit sends to heal those parts of you that have been wounded for decades and sometimes even eons, and getting specific spiritual advice for you in a safe space based on your questions that can help you to no longer give the inner child permission to run the car of your life in a ditch. So this is 8 weeks of healing the inner child so that the inner child no longer sabotages your prosperity. And Henry Harris had a question earlier about how to change the inner child from a saboteur to one who allows it. So what happens in this class is that you recapture the wonder of the inner child, the unlimited nature of the inner child who forgot, who never knew about limits and knew that they were innocent, holy, perfect, and pure and deserving. And that energy of that inner child and its magic can recreate for you an external world of good because that inner child feels deserving of it. So this is one of the ways that you can transform your inner child from a saboteur to the magical creation machine that can create your good. Thursdays. And I'll share with you something else. It's 2 weeks from tomorrow when these classes begin, but they're already 80% sold out.
We're not kidding when we say this. We're not just, we're not trying to hype the classes. These classes sell out quickly. There's only 20% of available now. And just a few seats in both of those classes. These classes are very, again, if you really are called to want this class, you say something within you wants, now is the time again. Today is the day of salvation. Give Reverend Jim a call or a text at 202-253-6009. Go ahead and email Reverend Jim Webb at msn.com. or visit the website at revjimwebb.com. Again, these classes are selling out now. If you want to be a part of the summer that will sizzle for you, this is a great way, again, of healing yourself, giving yourself the gift of healing this summer. All right, I've talked enough. Reverend Jim Webb, could you speak a word to us and our final word for us this evening?
Yes. The final word for us this evening is Spirit can do for you what you cannot do for yourself. Spirit can flow into those places, those caverns in our consciousness that have held on to fear, doubt, and shame, and all the misinformation of the inner child, and excavate it, not in spiritual bypass, but through processing, healing, and transformation, so that you can reparent your way to prosperity by healing and transforming that which blocks you. There are many ways to do it. Spirit is an expert at it. And we work with this and so much more here on the Miracle of Prosperity. So I want to thank you for being here tonight. One last thing about the classes is they're 2 for the price of 1. So sign up soon, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Have a good night, everyone, and thank you, Reverend Michael. And let's thank Ed Miller. Good night.
Come expand your spiritual journey. Join us for Just the Talk. Sundays, 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. Mountain Time. Experience Unity Kitchener and Ottawa. Center for Spiritual Living Midtown. Center for Spiritual Living Denver. Unity of Garden Park. New Thought Philadelphia. The Sunshine Cathedral. Unity of Savannah. And the Om Center for Spiritual Living. Come unleash your spiritual potential with New Thought Media Network.